Good evening or early afternoon. Hello, my name is Jonathan McCoy. I'm the Vice President of the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Association here in Asheville and Buncombe County. I'm also the chair of our association's Community Outreach Provided Empowerment Program. We call it the COPE program. And part of the function of the COPE program is working to recognize leaders in our community, people who are doing work that aligns with what the association's efforts are all about. And so for a number of years, we've had the Rosa Parks Award. And this award honors women in our community, women leaders in our community, women who have fostered a culture of inclusion, that they have worked to achieve a just society for the disadvantaged. And they also exemplify the philosophy of Dr. King of nonviolent and using nonviolence in the pursuit of a better life for all, especially non-majority people. And most of all, the Rosa Parks Award looks to honor women who inspire direct action for social justice and change. They're inspiration in not just what they say, but what they do. They live out their purpose for all to see. And so that is what the Rosa Parks Award was created to do, to honor women like this in our community. And we do this really in a lot of ways. Now, this is a personal aside. In a lot of ways, we are known for the breakfast that we do at Dr. King's holiday and the importance that that brings to the community and to the work that needs to be done. In my opinion, the Rosa Parks Award is right there as important as that breakfast weekend. Because, and I say this often, without Rosa Parks, there would not have been the King. And what happens a lot of times, unfortunately, in our society is that the powers that be, the people who really drive change, get overlooked if they don't match what our society says they should look like. And oftentimes, that is women. Women inspire us. They are the foundation of our communities, our foundation of our families, foundation of leadership. And so, to me, this award this day is just as important as that prayer breakfast and the peace march that we have over that weekend. You know, again, the reason there was a Montgomery bus boycott was because Rosa Parks got arrested. Now, Rosa Parks was not the first to get arrested. In fact, 9 months earlier, another young lady had been arrested for not giving up her seat. Claudette Colvin had been arrested for not giving up her seat, but the NAACP did not want to bring her case forward because she was a teenager who was pregnant. So an unwed teenage mother was not going to be the optics that was going to be needed for this case to go forward. As we know, people are going to project, and the NAACP thought that that was going to be the wrong projection. But they had been discussing their need of a case, and Rosa Parks was part of the NAACP. She was part of that leadership. She was in those conversations. So the day that she refused to give up her seat wasn't just something spontaneous. She had been part of the planning. But the main thing was that Rosa Parks was arrested, and that galvanized the community. People wanted to do something because they did that to Mrs. Parks. And everybody in Montgomery knew her, knew the work that she did, and had respect for her. She was a community leader. And if they were going to do that to a community leader, they were going to do that to everyone. And if they were going to disrespect her, what kind of respect could we have? And because it was Rosa Parks, that is what brought the people together and really kept them together. And so that is the driving force behind this award. Again, why we have it in March is because it's Women's History Month. And we honor women with this award. Rosa Parks and Claudette Colvin, and all the women who were with them, who came before them, and who have come after, and who will come even after this. And so that's why I really think that this award is special, and I think this award is just as important as the ceremonies and the excitement that we have around Dr. King's holiday. And we take this time to celebrate and recognize these women who inspire us. These women today are 2024 Rosa Parks Award winners. But as we get ready to do that, look around and we see there are previous award honorees that are here. Not just Rosa Parks, but also John Lewis. Rosa Parks Awards inspired us to start doing the John Lewis Awards, to find men in our community that were also living out that work. And so as I look around, I see previous honorees like Willie Mae Brown is here, and we have Matthew Bacote. He came through the garage door. He came in here, and we're happy for him to get here. We see the Sheriff Quentin Miller back there, who is a past honoree, and City Councilwoman Annette Mosley is also here. So sprinkled through here is not just people who have been honored, but also you can see as community leaders, what do? They return to the community. They remain a part. It's not just I got this award and they go away. They stay and they have a presence. And that's what we're looking for. And so that's the speech for today. Now to the important part of today as we get ready to honor our 2024 Rosa Parks Award winners. As I will also point out, as you see on the side window, there are 3 pictures that were created by the Aish Adams Media Group that represents this award ceremony today. There are 3 because we have 3 award winners. So each award winner, as you leave today, please take your framed picture with you. So you get a plaque and a framed picture for you to remember this day and to remind you of the work that you do and the esteem that you're held into. So I wanted to point that out. Our first honoree for this evening is Johnnie Nelson Grant. Johnnie Nelson Grant is a native of Asheville, and her career includes working in corporate sales for Pfizer Pharmaceutical, and she was also deputy director of the North Carolina Board of Elections. Her family has a legacy of service. Her grandmother, Lucy Hooper Molden, sold insurance to African Americans from the late 1800s through the early 1900s. And her great uncle, Reverend Jacob R. Nelson, was known as the builder of the current Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church here in Asheville, as well as he was on the founding membership board of the YMI Cultural Center. Mrs. Grant is the founder and publisher of the Urban News. The Urban News supports and highlights African American communities, businesses, and professionals in and around the city of Asheville, across Buncombe County, and all of Western North Carolina. They also emphasize work that goes on here in the state of North Carolina and the nation. Urban News draws a readership from across the country, from Florida to California, across all racial and ethnic lines, and even former Asheville residents get the Urban News to stay in touch with what's going on in this community. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you our 2024 Rosa Parks Award honoree, Mrs. Johnnie Nelson Grant.
A few words.
You can if you want to. There's a microphone right there.
Right there, here's your microphone.
I don't know whether I need this or not, but I do want to thank the Martin Luther King Association for this award. I am very grateful. I'm honored. It's not every day that someone recognizes the work that you do, but I do it out of love and out of passion for my community. No one is the monolith. We are a community, and when we realize that, we will begin to be united and come together as we always should be. So again, thank you. I appreciate it.
Our next honoree is Becky Stone. Becky Stone is an African-American history storyteller. She was born in Philadelphia, where my parents come from. We were just talking about some ties to Philly. And she's a graduate of Vassar College with general honors. In 1970, she graduated and she had majored in drama, while also a member of an award-winning folk singing group. She moved down here to Fairview in the early 1980s. Over the years, she has performed with the Asheville Community Theater, the Southern Appalachian Repertory Theater, New Studio of Dance, the Haywood Arts Regional Theater, the Highland Repertory Theater, Lime Klein Theater in Virginia, the Warehouse Theater in Greenville, South Carolina, and the Mumford Players. She has told stories for countless libraries. She's told stories at UNCA, at the Biltmore House, schools for children of all ages, at Belshare, at the Goombay Festival, the Leap Festival, and the Chautauqua is a movement that she is a member of. And that movement brings history to life. And Becky has worked as a Chautauqua scholar and performer for at least 21 years. She's researched and performed as Paula Murray, Harriet Tubman, Maya Angelou, Josephine Baker, and Rosa Parks. Currently, she is preparing Stagecoach Mary Fields. Stagecoach Mary Fields was a noted stagecoach driver, carried a shotgun back in the 1800s, one of the first African-American women doing something that was seen as a man's job. She's working to present Mrs. Fields for the 2024 Greenville Chautauqua Festival. Community is important to Mrs. Stone. She has worked as a circulation manager and co-publisher of Green Prints, her husband's quarterly garden magazine. She's worked for that for over 30 years. She has served on the YWCA board twice and on the United Way of Asheville Outcomes Committee. Becky has also served on the board of directors of the Worthman Center for the Performing Arts, and currently she sits on the board of the Wilma Dykeman Legacy and is president of the Board of Literacy. Together, two nonprofits that focus on education in this region. It is my honor to present to you our 2024 Rosa Parks Award honoree, Mrs. Becky Stone.
Thank you so much. Oh, this is exquisite, and I do want to thank the board of the Martin Luther King Association here and this community, which has welcomed me, an outsider and an artist, and has found a space for art and education and drawing this community together through our history. And 40 years ago, or maybe more than that, we moved here and I discovered the richness of the Black community here as well as the mountain community, and that Blacks were living in the mountains and establishing a strong community here decades and decades ago. So thank you. I am deeply honored and humbled by this award. Thank you.
One thing that happens as I work to organize these ceremonies, I'm getting information from our honorees, and I'm reading through their bios. You get to see all that they do. I don't get to say everything they do, or we would be here a lot longer, but came to mind when I talk about Renee White, our next honoree, is that she's a native of Asheville, but Asheville might need to be renamed after Renee White. Because I was reading all that she has done and is doing, and I said, well, you know, as I said, without Rosa Parks, there would not be a King. In a lot of ways, without a Renee White, there wouldn't be an Asheville. She does a lot. She does a whole lot. She has been the president. She has been the president of the East End Valley Street Neighborhood Association for the past 11 years. In this role, she has led the association's advocacy efforts for community investments and public policy changes. She is also a member of the Legacy Neighborhood Coalition, which includes the Shiloh Community Association, the Burton Street Community Association, the Southside Community Association, and the Emma Association. For the past 6 years, as the first vice president of Precinct 1.1, which is the Stevens Lee Center, Ms. White has worked to educate residents about the electoral process and ensure that members of the community have access to free elections. And as we know in these past few elections, that's so important, especially for this community. Ms. White is vice president of the Asheville and Buncombe Community Land Trust, which works to develop and expand affordable housing in Asheville and Buncombe County. She is also a current board member of Asheville Greenworks, working to protect the environment and care for the places we love to enjoy. Along with being a surgery nutritional scheduler at Mission Children's Clinical Hospital, she is a member of the Black Colleague Network, BCN, at Mission Hospital. The BCN works to ensure equity inside and outside the hospital by strengthening diversity and fostering a culture of inclusion in the workplace. In 2018, she was named Volunteer of the Year for the City of Asheville. In 2020, she was the Co-Think Leadership Awardee. In 2022, she was a recipient of the Zedek Brilliance Award, which honors Ella Baker, who was a Black community leader, and she empowered and organized others to address systematic oppression. Community service is her calling. Renee White says, I work in the community with passion and heart. I believe that everyone should be given fair and equal opportunities to live their best lives and be treated as human beings, regardless of race, gender, age, or religion. Everyone needs a voice in society, and many times it takes me to be that voice. A true community activist, Mrs. Renee White is our 2024 Rosa Parks Award winner.
And I don't want to step there, I'm going to step here because I have a lot to say. It's not going to take me long, but I'm going to say what I have to say. And I need to be in the front of the podium where I can spread out and say what I need to say. God gives his battles to his best soldiers. I am grateful that I have been awarded the Rosa Parks Award on behalf of the Martin Luther King Jr. Association. I am thankful to God for giving me vision, for giving me courage, and for giving me strength. I am thankful and grateful to my parents for laying a foundation. Grateful and thankful to my church family, for being there when needed, for keeping me grounded also. Grateful to friends who keep me encouraged, and grateful to anyone who has helped to shape and mold me. I stand before you this day and this evening reflecting on Rosa Parks. and what it meant for her on December the 1st, 1955, to be told that she needed to give up her seat to a white man and move to the back of the bus. It was described as an act of quiet defiance. Let me think. An act of quiet defiance. So let's look at this act in 2024. I get on the bus. I am tired. I am exhausted. I pay my fare. I sit down, pretty much taking a seat wherever I can find it, where it's convenient, and here comes the bus driver. As I recall, when we visited the Black History Museum in Memphis, Tennessee, we stepped on the bus. They had a replica of Miss Rosa Parks sitting in a seat. And all of a sudden, as we boarded that bus, you hear the bus driver say, "Move to the back of the bus." Scared us to death. Move to the back of the bus. I remember, good gracious, that would have scared me to death. Remember now, let's fast forward this to 2024. So let's look at this when the bus driver said to me, "Move to the back of the bus. I'm tired. I've worked all day. My feet probably hurt." And he's going to tell me, "Move to the back of the bus in 2024. And I'm thinking, no, he didn't. Then I started to bob my head, move my arms upward, and tell him, "You must have lost your fool mind." Well, he's looking at me by then, I'm sure, like, no, this lady didn't. And I'm thinking, I'm not moving. Well, I would have done just what Rosa Parks would have done. Number one, I'm thinking he didn't holler at me. And number two, he had the nerve to ask me to get out of my seat and move to the back of the bus and my feet hurt? No way, buddy. Well, I'm thinking, here I go. And when you think about it honestly, I'm not getting up. And I say to myself, I guess I'm going to jail just like Rosa Parks. Somebody call my cousin Quentin Miller, sheriff, and tell him to come and get Renee out of jail because she wouldn't move out of her seat to the back of the bus. I'm headed to jail just like Rosa Parks. I'm telling this to say, we as Black people have to stand for something, because if you don't stand, we get absolutely nothing. We have to take that little bitty mustard seed and have faith. Faith enough to know that until our Black children are able to close the achievement gap and get equal education opportunities as our white children, until our HBCUs are able to maintain and sustain providing college education to Black students, until our Black men and women are no longer falsely arrested or beaten to death by the police, until our Black women are able to make the same or equal salaries as our white counterparts, until our low-income Black residents who are able to become homeowners and move out of public housing, and until Black people are able to build generational wealth, have Black businesses that are able to thrive and hire more than one employee and make a profit, until drug overdoses slow down or stop in our Black communities, until we as Black people educate ourselves and stop voting for Black people or even white people just because we're known to be Democrats, but vote for people who have our best interest at heart and who are interested in what happens to us in the beginning, in the middle, and in the end. And until I see a change in our Black status that affects us in a positive manner, my work, your work, and our work is not done. Let me say that again. My work, your work, and our work is not done until we see that change. We need to continue to be Rosa Parks in America, the state of North Carolina, the city of Asheville, and the county of Buncombe. So rise up, my people. Rise up, people that look like me, because if you don't stand for something, you stand for absolutely nothing. Once again, thank you for this award, and thank you to all who came out to share this moment with me. Will everybody representing me please stand? I do what I do because I have all of you who talk to me, who encourage me, and who love me. And thank you so much for being here with me tonight. Have a good evening.
Before you get comfortable, if all our awardees will come up for a group picture right now. If all our awardees will come up and bring your plaque for a group picture, please, we appreciate it. Everybody get the picture? Everybody? Well, thank you. As you look at the program, you see that we also have an announcement that was going to be made by Dr. Carlton Smith. Unfortunately, he got ill this afternoon and wasn't able to make it, so I'm going to make the announcement. And the announcement dealt with one of the main purposes that we have with the King Association is our scholarship. We provide a scholarship to graduating seniors here in Buncombe County and really as close to Buncombe County as can be, but across from city to county, doesn't matter of race or ethnicity. Last year we were able to give out about 15 scholarships totaling about $50,000. And so we're hoping that's part of why we have the breakfast, that we get the word out, and we've been raising money throughout this time. So Dr. Smith is the chair of our scholarship committee, and so at this point he wanted to send out a reminder about the scholarship. He said that the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Scholarship was established in 1986 by the MLK Association. The scholarships are awarded each year to area high school seniors who actively embrace King's dream of improving racial harmony and social justice. The applicants, the award amounts can vary with one-time scholarships ranging from $1,500 all the way up to $10,000. Applicants are asked to write a 1 to 2 page essay that represents how Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. espoused and encouraged justice, equality, and unity for all in a peaceful way. How have your actions emulated the work of Dr. King? By keeping hope in challenging times. Applications are due no later than April 24th, and we have some paper copies here tonight. Back in the back, there are paper copies of the application and also the reference form that they would need for somebody to give a reference, and also there are sheets back there that list kind of some frequently asked questions. What are they and the answers to them. So they're right back there in the back on the two tables right there in the back. But again, those are paper copies, but you can also find an electronic copy at our website. So you either can complete the paper copy or the electronic copy. If you do the electronic, you can mail it to the MLKAVI scholarship at gmail.com. Again, all that information is at our website. And also, as you'll see on the application there on the paper copy, you can also mail them to our physical address. The main thing is that if you know somebody that would benefit from having a scholarship, and again, it could be to a 2-year or 4-year institution, regardless of race, ethnicity, religion. Basically, you know a young person that you want to invest in the future, their future and the community's future. Please pick up an application and get it to them or tell them how to get it. I'd rather that we have so many that apply that we have to give so much more in scholarship. We can only bring about change that these women are working for if we work to have a generation that knows how to do the work that they are doing. And they can only do that from learning. And so that's the opportunity, and that's the purpose we have as elders, to help those that come after us be able to move forward. And so we wanted to put that out and make sure that everyone's aware of our scholarship opportunities there for our scholarship program. And so now I ask Dr. Orlean Simmons to come up. She is our founder and president of the MLK Association, for her to give some acknowledgments and remarks, and then we'll be finishing on up.
Good evening to everyone. On behalf of the Dr. Martin Luther King Association of Asheville and Buncombe County, we extend our congratulations to our Rosa Parks 2024 awardees, and thank you for your efforts, leadership, and inspiring service to our community. I'd like to recognize the members of the Martin Luther King Association who are here with us tonight. Vanessa Funderburg, Inez Ray, Elizabeth Colton. Did I overlook anyone? Elizabeth Colton. Thank you for being here as well. Jonathan McCoy is vice president of our association and also chairs our COAT program. So Jonathan, thank you so very much for this inspiring program this evening. Let's thank him with your applause, please. We would also like to thank our community partners for their contributions of time and energy in bringing about this award ceremony reception. Aisha and, please, Rafrika, thank you, Adams, of the Aisha Adams Media Group for their work in reserving Black Wall Street AVL to host this event. This is in addition to their quality and professional promotion and coverage of the award ceremony and reception. Simply Salads by Betty for the delicious food that we will soon enjoy after the program. Please help yourself. It's just beautiful. Rebecca Pickens of Asheville Awards and Gifts for the beautifully crafted Rosa Parks Award plaques. Christy Souther of Paul Prince Printing at Morris Hill University for the wonderful Rosa Parks Award programs. And also, we thank our 2024 sponsors, the City of Asheville, Mission Help, Deerfield, Givens Community, Dogwood Health Trust, Biltmore Company, AB Tech Community College, Burial's Beer, and Advent Health. All are located on the back of our program. I'd also like to ask you to please stay and congratulate our awardees again and enjoy the beautiful spread that we have here this evening. Please look forward to our Juneteenth celebration. If you would like to know more about it, please go to our website, and we will also email you invitations and explain all of our events to you. And also, you'll be able to read about them in the Urban News. Is that right, Johnnie Grant? Thank you, and have a good evening.
So again, as we come to a conclusion for tonight, we thank you again for coming out. Know that our next event will probably be in April when we'll have the awarding of our scholarships, and so we'll be putting that out. So please feel free to attend and celebrate for those young people as they start a next step of their life's journey. And again, as Dr. Simmons said, then in June we'll be having a week-long celebration of Juneteenth. Again, things can be found on our website. This will be videotaped and this will be put into our YouTube channel also. So if you want to see events like that we have done over the years, please go to our YouTube channel and look at that. Also, you can go to our website and see how you can go ahead and subscribe to our newsletter. Every month we send out a newsletter that we try to cover what's going on across the nation and state, but also here in the community. Most of all, thank you for coming out. It is amazing this size of this crowd. There's one thing that I will say about women. Now, we had some men show up for John Lewis, but women will come support women. And that is a blessing. That is a blessing. And so I hope that you all have a safe evening, safe travels home or to wherever your next destination is, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you again for coming.